Listen, when the world speaks of champions, it speaks in whispers of glory. It speaks of the podium, the trophy, the final bell, the frozen second of victory. But I tell you now, that moment is not the creation. That moment is merely the exhale. The creation of a great champion happens in the silence before the exhale, in the dark, in the repetition that breaks lesser souls. Let me speak to you not of talent, for talent is a liar's currency. Let me speak to you of method. Let me speak to you of practice. Let me give you the tools. And above all, let me lend you a sliver of wisdom bought in the currency of failure. Part 1. The how. The architecture of obsession. A champion is not born. That is a fairy tale for children. A champion is built, brick by brick, callus by callus, tear by silent tear. The how begins with a single violent realization. You are not special, but you can become inevitable. The how is the systematic destruction of the word tomorrow. The champion kills procrastination in its crib. How? You choose a single mountain, not two, not a career and a hobby, a single all-consuming peak. The champion says, "This hill or my bones remain here." You fall in love with the mundane. The how is in the brush of the tooth, the tying of the shoelace, the first breath at 4:47 a.m. when the rest of the world dreams. You ritualize the mundane until it becomes sacred. You find a mirror that does not lie. That mirror is your last performance. You do not compare yourself to the living. You compare yourself to the ghost of who you were yesterday. The how is that daily haunting. Part 2. The method, the engine of relentless improvement. Method is the spine. Without method, passion is a house fire, bright, hot, and ash in an hour. The method of the champion is a three-legged stool. Remove one leg and you fall. Leg 1. Deliberate discomfort. You do not practice what you can do. That is entertainment, not training. The method says, find your edge of failure and live there. If you can do it perfectly, it is no longer practice, it is a performance. True practice feels like drowning. Every single day you must attempt what you cannot yet do. That is the method. Leg 2. The loop of 5. Act, assess, correct, repeat, then repeat again. The method is not mindless repetition, it is intelligent obsession. After every attempt, you ask 3 questions. What worked? What lied to me? What will I burn away tomorrow? Leg 3. The rhythm of rest. Fools think the champion never stops. Wiser fools think the champion rests to recover. The wise know the champion rests to integrate. The method honors the hollow days, the silent walk, the sleep where the synapses fire and turn movement into instinct. Rest is not the absence of method. Rest is the forge where the steel cools and hardens. Part 3. The practice, the daily resurrection. Now we speak of the bloody ground, practice. Not the idea of practice, not the conversation about practice, the act. The champion's practice is microscopic. You do not practice the fight. You practice the first inch of the first step. You practice the angle of the wrist. You practice the breath between the third and fourth repetition. You break the movement down until it is smaller than an atom, and you perfect that atom. Here is the secret they do not tell you. Practice is not about getting better. Practice is about removing what is not necessary. Each session you are a sculptor. You do not add muscle to marble. You chip away the stone that hides the form. The champion practices subtraction. You strip away hesitation. You strip away ego. You strip away the flinch. What remains is pure, unfiltered action. And you practice on the days the soul weeps. You practice when the body begs for the grave of the couch. You practice when the results do not come, especially then. Because practice is the proof of the covenant you made with yourself in the silence. No one sees it, no one applauds it, but every drop of sweat is a brick in the cathedral of your victory. Part 4. The tools, the honest instruments. Let me give you tools, not gadgets, not gurus, not the glittering things that promise shortcuts. Tool 1. The Journal of Cold Truth. A cheap notebook. Every night you write 3 numbers: what you did, how you felt, what you lied about. The champion cannot afford self-deception. This journal is your confessor. It does not forgive, it only records. Tool 2. The timer. Not a clock, a timer. The champion does not practice until it feels right. Feelings are traitors. You set the timer for 47 minutes, an odd number so the mind pays attention. When it beeps, you stop, even if you are flying, especially if you are flying. The timer teaches you discipline over euphoria. Tool 3. The weakness list. A single sheet of paper, on the left every flaw you have, on the right a single action to attack that flaw tomorrow. You do not hide from your fragility, you run toward it like a wolf. The champion's greatest tool is the courage to write down exactly where you are breakable. Tool 4. The witness. One person who will not flatter you, one person who will look at your work and say, "That was soft." Not cruel, honest. You give this person a key to your armor. Without a witness, ego fills the room like smoke. Tool 5. The ritual object. A stone, a coin, a worn leather strap. Before every practice you touch it. This object carries no magic except the meaning you assign. It is the anchor that says, "Now I am the champion. Now the world falls away." You need a trigger for the sacred state. Choose it, use it, wear it smooth. Part 5. The wisdom, what the scars teach. And now the rarest part, the wisdom. Because you can have the how, the method, the practice, the tools, and still fail. Wisdom is the knowing that turns effort into legacy. Wisdom 1. The champion loses in private first. You will fail 1,000 times before the world sees you fail once. That is the law. Do not rage at the hidden failure. Thank it. Each private collapse is a vaccination against public shame. Wisdom 2. Do not love the victory, love the path. If you love only the trophy, you will be hollow when it tarnishes. But if you love the path, the 5 a.m. dark, the ache in your hands, the small improvement no one claps for, then you are already a champion. The outcome becomes a side effect. The path becomes the reward. Wisdom 3. Fear is a compass. Whatever makes your stomach turn to water, that is the thing you must do first. The champion feels fear and says, "Thank you for showing me where I must go." Courage is not the absence of terror. Courage is the tremor in the hand that still grips the tool. Wisdom 4. You will be forgotten. This is the hardest wisdom. Statues crumble, records fall, names fade from lips. So why seek the championship? Because the seeking changes you. The fire of the pursuit burns away the dross of who you were not meant to be. You become the person who could dare greatly, and that person, that forged, scarred, relentless soul, cannot be taken from you even by time. Wisdom 5. The final secret. The great champion is not the one who never doubted. The great champion is the one who doubted, despaired, broke into pieces on the floor of a lonely gym at midnight, and then picked up the pieces, counted them, found one missing, and smiled, because now they knew exactly what to rebuild. So, you wanted a speech on the creation of a great champion. Here it is, carved from bone and silence. The how is the architecture of obsession. The method is deliberate discomfort, the loop of 5, and the rhythm of rest. The practice is microscopic, subtractive, and relentless, even in the dark. The tools are the journal, the timer, the weakness list, the witness, and the ritual object. The wisdom is this: lose in private, love the path, follow your fear, accept your forgetting, and when you break, rebuild with the broken pieces. Now, stand up. The world does not need another dreamer. It needs another doer. It needs the sound of your practice in the empty room. It needs the evidence of your method. Go. Be forged. And when they ask you years from now, how did you become a champion? You will smile. You will hold up your scarred hands, and you will say, I made myself inevitable, one impossible morning at a time.